Hey, it's John LBF Little Blue Ford. So I didn't film an intro, so here it is. This was going to be part of another video, but I'm breaking it out. Be a little DIY help on the electric shift motors when they stop working. Some of the stuff to do. So yeah, here we go. Alright, so we're gonna try to get the shift motor off. So they appear to be 10 millimeter. There's one back there and 3 up here. Why are we trying to get the shift motor off? Well, because it wasn't shifting, and because couldn't get the drive shaft lined up, and I tried to put the transmission in neutral, since these electronic ones don't have a neutral position. Well, it exists, just I'll show you in a minute. It exists, but it doesn't. One of them kind of deals. It doesn't exist for the computer, but it exists for the transfer case. So I'm just gonna pull these bolts, move this thing off to the side for now. Gotta disconnect the wire to get the motor completely out. I thought that was all of them. There it goes. See, this one wire here goes into the transfer case itself. So if you're swapping one of these motors, what you have to do is pull this red part out of the plug, and then there's a little tab to release the wire, and you just have to release this one wire in the corner. But for the moment, I'm going to set this over here. So yeah, you get 2 high, 4 high, and 4 low, and Neutral is right over here between 4 high and 4 low. So I'm going to get this taken care of. And hang on. Alright. Clip. This one. There. Just like that. You'll be able to see the little tab in there to release it. Hey, it's John, LBF Little Blue Ford. So, just gonna kind of run down this real quick, where I'm at. Probably should have started this earlier, but it'll be alright. I'll explain here. So, this is a shift motor, Dad's 99 Ranger, and it's pretty rusty, and wasn't shifting with the buttons on the dash, so pulled it out. The 99 has 8 pins in this plug. This one wire that's out of it right now, that goes into the transfer case. Now, got a pair of 2000s here, and they're both the same. This is the 2000 Ranger shift motor, and it does not have the extra wire. Anyway, I pulled the little red piece out. You can just take a pick, and right in the middle you can pop that out, and then you can release the little tab and pull the pin out. This plastic piece is the what reads where things are positioned, and it was all together. I got it pried apart. It's gonna be a little bit of a challenge. Anyway, a couple of these pins were messed up. This was really dirty. I've got it mostly cleaned up now. A little electrical motor contact cleaner. Wiped it up, straightened the bent pins. Got those mostly cleaned up. I'm gonna put a little film of dielectric grease on this all, just to keep corrosion out. I'm pretty sure that's what was in here. And get this all back together. I might try to clean up some of this old crusty grease in here and put a little fresh stuff in. Get it back together, get it on the truck. Hopefully it works. What else? I'm gonna end up gluing this back in, because of the way this is, it just kind of started to crumble on me. But a new one of these motors is $100 or so, and yeah, I don't see any reason why I couldn't change this plug for that plug, because the rubber in the back doesn't have an extra hole, and it's not a big deal to just unpin it and pin it with the other rubber in there so that I got the extra plug. I don't see why it won't work. The only thing is, I don't know for certain that this motor doesn't have the same problem. So we're going to try fixing this one here. Bring you guys along. One thing that I ran into with both of these was the screw on the bottom didn't want to come free. So I ended up taking a punch wherever it ran off to, there it is, and put it on here, gave it some sharp wraps with a hammer, soaked it in some lube, and gave it some more taps. The next day they've come loose. So that's a little trick. When I put it back together, I'm going to put some anti-seize on the screws. It's just steel screws into aluminum, they corrode. But yeah, I'm going to get this back together, and hopefully it works here. I'll bring you guys along, and hopefully this helps somebody that's dealing with one of these problems. Oh, I did, so the shift motor, it's this yellow and orange wire, the thick ones. I did put power and ground to those and made sure that the motor cycles through the full range. So that's good, that works. And I just gotta get this stuff cleaned up and working so that whenever you hit the button, it knows where to stop the motor for the shift points. So yeah, I'll get going on this here. Alright, got a little dielectric smeared on things. There is a very tiny thin washer here. You want to make sure you don't lose that. So I'm just gonna get this back in here, hopefully. Maybe. Oh, I see. Alright, hang on. I'm gonna get it back together off camera because I just bent a pin accidentally. So, hang on. Alright, here's what I'm going with here. We're putting this in first to protect the pins, and then we'll worry about getting this in. This does have some O-rings. I'm gonna give it a little bit of dielectric on this, just because no, this has a key way in it, and it keys into the end of this. Oh, that was the other thing that I wanted to mention. When I set a butt, I tested the motor. I just used a good old M12 battery pack, and I have one of these little adapters so I can break out power. And yeah, so I'll get this glued back on. The other thing I did is I made a couple marks on this and a couple on the case, because this is slotted, so I can make sure this gets exactly where it needs to be in here. But get it together, get it on the truck, and we'll see how it does. Alright, I don't think these were intended as being serviceable, but we just serviced it, so this is ready to go back together. We just have to make sure that this lines up. And should be good to test it. Here. There we go. that. Line up our marks. Right like so. Now we just gotta get our screws back in and go try it out. Alright, got our anti-seize. Yes, this is copper stuff, because copper's better. And you don't look like the Tin Man. Just put this back together. Be good for another 150,000, hopefully. I'm putting this anti-seize on knowing that there's a good chance that I may never take this one back apart. But there's one thing that I've learned. It's usually about the time I think I'm never going to be back in there dealing with anything again. That's why I end up having to get in there for some reason or another. So, why take chances? Doesn't hurt anything. It's not that expensive for a couple dabs. Be alright. I don't know if you guys can tell, I twisted the heck out of this. This is a security Torx bit, because for whatever reason this one has security Torx bits in it. This one doesn't. They are T15. But anyway, I think we're ready to install and test this thing, and then we can get Dad's Ranger out of my way and get on to my other projects. So I'll get this thrown in and show you guys that one. Well, show you guys that it works, hopefully. Yeah. Alright, so it's not started, but we're in two-wheel drive. Neutral. Bingo. One fully functional shift motor. Thanks for watching.